Right, we're live. Well, not live actually, we're just recording, but the inaugural or inaugural? Inaugural. Fucking call it the first one.
I was going to say something offensive within the 5-6 seconds, the first 6 seconds.
The inaugural or the first Svengali Sounds podcast. We've got Paul Boggie. How do's?
How you doing?
Aye, good man. Paul's got quite a story to tell. Wrote a book all about his life, heroine to hero.
Maybe tell us about who you are, Kev, eh?
About who I am?
Yeah. Introduce yourself.
Introduce myself. Aye, so I'm Kevin McLaughlin. 1/3 of Svengali Sounds, one half. We do live music and so on. This is our kind of first foray into podcasting. Obviously based in Edinburgh. We're down in sunny Gullin today, although the sun's just kind of vanished for a little bit.
Yeah.
So there might be some lighting issues as and when the sun comes back in and out, but we'll sort that out. But aye, that's me. Paul, a wee bit about yourself, mate. And
Yeah.
we'll go straight in it after that.
So, my name is Paul Boggie and I am the author of Heroine to Hero, a book about my life growing up in Edinburgh, being addicted to heroin, and then turning my life around to then go on to join the army.
Alright, so talk about kind of early childhood, I guess, kind of growing up Lochend,
Craigington, I grew up, and so I am one of, my mum had 4 boys, I'm the second eldest, and growing up was pretty difficult because my mum had 4 boys, everything was always super competitive. My dad was into his sports and I was always competing for attention, so I was never the best footballer.
Your brother is, though. Mark's good,
Mark is good
Mark's
at football.
good, aye.
Did Mark play for anyone?
Semi-professional, both of them.
Right,
I
yeah.
have 2 younger brothers.
I bet like you
Oh,
then,
aye,
Kev.
Edinburgh too, aye.
Were you not semi-pro as well, Kev?
Aye, for a wee bit, but I was never too slow.
It was you and your
Too
mum.
inconsistent as well. I do absolutely nothing for 88 minutes and then fucking bash a volley in the top corner and just
Score a
annoy the
goal.
life out of you.
Bash a volley, more like poaching for the 5 yard since 1994 or something like that.
Oh aye, that was I think that charity game at Celtic Park, aye. To be fair, I set that boy up right after that. You can see his face over, I've nipped in behind him and he's like, ah. Cause that was like the 88th minute or something, I genuinely felt bad. I was like,
You just put that up last
aye,
week,
well, it
didn't
was it was the anniversary, I think 2 years ago I done it through that football league we were talking about earlier.
you? Football age, yeah.
Aye, and I ended up setting him up like right afterwards. Then he got his goal and we had a laugh about it afterwards. I says, you would have been raging if you'd never scored it. And he's like, aye. I says, well, at least we both got one.
Aye, sure.
But aye, it was good. Aye, that was a good experience. But anyway, aye, so childhood, Craigington. Obviously we'll go kind of into, obviously the heroin side came first before we joined the army.
Yeah.
Which isn't always the case, I suppose, is it? It could be quite the opposite.
It usually is
Aye.
the opposite, yeah.
That's quite interesting, aye. So I kind of going from childhood to obviously where the addiction started. So how old were you then?
The addiction, although growing up I'd smoked cannabis briefly,
Right.
drugs were always a no-no in my family.
Really?
It was like a strict upbringing. I still can't swear in front of my mum.
Really?
So,
You better not see this thing.
yeah, I know.
I'm going to edit all that out, mate.
So when growing up, and then I remember it was when I was 18 and I was a boy racer. I had a black XR3 and I used to love going up the town, passing the nightclubs with tunes blaring and all that sort of stuff. And then my friends stopped coming in for me and there'd been no arguments, and for a couple of nights I could never understand it. And I remember jumping in the car, going down to Portobello Beach in the promenade,
Right.
and all my friends were crammed into 2 crappy wee Fiestas, small cars.
Aye.
I pulled up alongside them in my XR3 and that was the very first time I ever seen my flash of tinfoil, and at the time I was totally naive,
Heroin, aye.
chasing the dragon. I didn't know what it was. When I looked over to the car, none of them put the windows down, and I kept seeing this flash of tinfoil and silver tubes. And one of my friends actually got out the car, come over into my car, and I said, "What are you doing?" And they said, "Oh, they're all chasing the dragon there." And I was like, "What is that?" And they said, "Smoking heroin." And I said, "Alright." To me at the time, obviously, I was brought up, heroin kills.
That's where Edinburgh was the heroin capital. See, for me, I grew up, my mum worked in a refuge for battered women.
Right.
And a lot of the women there were addicts as well. So I kind of seen it from an early age. Plus, I grew up in Portobello, and you know it was bad there as well at that time. So
Yeah.
we're talking like late 90s, mid to late 90s, aye.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you're the same age as me, aye, and it was bad then.
And
And I always kind of knew where the line was. Like I knew if I really, I mean, my mum started working there when I was 10-ish, I think. But I was 8 or 9 when I moved to Edinburgh. It was not long after that. And I always kind of knew where the line was with that. Like, don't fucking get near that stuff. But
it kills you.
aye,
And even at school,
we
even
got it rammed in our throat at school, didn't we,
Yeah.
as well? And
it kills
it'd
you.
been going on, what, 15 years or so in Edinburgh at that point. It was what, the AIDS death capital of Europe, and
And that's all you see on the streets. Is
Muirhouse was it Muirhouse as well? It was
all
like,
over Edinburgh, mate.
was it?
But aye, like Muirhouse, it first started out there because
in the 90s, wasn't it? Like, AIDS capital,
mid 80s, I think,
Right.
because there was the old pharmaceutical factory in Gorgie,
Right.
and there was people sneak. It was the pure stuff, the pure white stuff, and that there was. Urban Wales goes on about it in the books and stuff.
Yeah.
When there were people were smuggling out of there. So when it first hit Edinburgh, it was all that pure China, I think they called
Pure
it,
China.
pure China white or something. And it was only when that chemical plant shut down, pharmaceutical plant, whatever it was, that all the Afghan brown stuff started coming in, and that's when loads of people started dying, and the crime and all that just went and rocketed. But no, that's I grew up around it, and I know a few people that have died from it and all that, and I just kind of, for me personally, I just knew where the line was. Now, I took the same party stuff and all that as well, but I always knew exactly where the line was, and I cut quite a few people off when I was fairly young because they started going down that route. But sorry mate, aye, go on.
Yeah, so when I realised what it was, I was obviously kept my distance, but I still wanted
You
to.
were intrigued.
Yeah, but it wasn't that. It was that I never had any friends at that point.
Did we know
they were
each
all
other
doing
then?
that.
I don't think we did.
No.
I met you a few
that
years
came,
after.
That came after when I
Aye.
started knocking about with James
Aye,
Willis and
right.
stuff.
I was racking my brain. Sorry to interrupt again.
Sorry.
But I was racking my brain trying to. Did I know him then? I didn't think I did. No.
No, it was later.
Right.
I think we knew younger brother Stuart through football
Aye.
because Mark and Kelly
Mark and
played
Stuart.
football.
Aye, they played football. Sure, I was a wee bit older then.
Older, but I mean, I kept my distance because I knew that the drug was obviously bad.
For those people, you kept your distance.
Yeah, no, I
Or
actually
just for the drug itself.
just for the drug.
Aye.
For 2 weeks, I let my friends come into my car
Right.
to smoke it
Okay.
because otherwise I was going to have no friends.
Okay,
you know,
right. Now I see what you're saying.
So then I
Right.
was sitting in the car. They were smoking it in the passenger seat and in the back, and the smell was horrible.
I've smelt it. It's like fucking burnt,
Fresh.
burnt rubber, burnt like a plastic bag catching fire.
Aye.
I remember somebody smoking it in the back of a bus, and I was sitting down the front of the top deck,
Mm.
and I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
That is a
It's
disgusting smell.
Aye.
But again, I wanted to still be around my
You wanted
friends.
your pal, you wanted to be mates
So
then.
I would take them to get the drug, and then 2 weeks passed. There was 11 of us, and we used to go and get the drug every night. I would take them, we'd go back down to Portobello, and then one night I'd had a big argument with my mum, and I was annoyed, I was angry, and we were down at Portobello, and every night they'd offered me heroin,
Really?
and I refused. And then one night I had that argument, and I
It's
said,
about
right,
2 weeks for the first time then.
2 weeks since, 2 weeks of them trying it in the car, smoking it in the car, and then I said, just pass me the tutor, which is the silver tube. I said, just pass me it then. What do I do? And they explained that you follow it down,
Aye.
chasing, that's always the name, chasing the
call it?
dragon. So I smoked it the very first time. I was sick. I went white as a sheet. I got out of the car, lay on the promenade on the concrete, and looked up at the sky for, I remember, maybe 10-15 minutes. And I felt really ill, and to this day I'll never understand why I went back.
So there wasn't like a big high or that, no?
No, it was,
Which everyone kind of talks about when the first hit's the best, and
Is
you
that-
spend the rest of your life chasing it.
I wonder that's that famous line in Train Spotting, isn't it? Take the best organised you ever had, multiply it by 10,000.
That's what I was getting at, aye.
And it never.
You never had that?
So when
No.
did I'd imagine? I mean, you tell me otherwise, but like I'd imagine you go back to it's like it kind of harks back to what you were saying earlier on. With it's not that you were that daft about trying the drug. It's because you were with your friends and you want to hang out with your friends, and so you just do what's around your friends. And I can relate to that. Definitely.
exactly,
I mean,
that's
anything
all it
else-
was.
So I fit in, aye.
all that's like that.
I just wanted to fit in.
Everybody wants to fit in.
So when did you get the first high from when you tried it then? Now?
So there is no high to be had from heroin. There is no high. It's low. So where you would get a high from cocaine or ecstasy or amphetamines, you get that feel good.
Aye,
You get that
euphoria.
feel good factor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's opposite for heroin. So basically it clouds everything. Like all your emotions are dimmed. So if you're angry, happy, sad, any emotion, you take heroin and
That's going off.
It's going off.
That's good to hear that. I got a nice reverb in the microphone.
Did you?
I
I
thought
put carbon up as well.
Alright, that'll cool it down.
Exactly, yeah.
I thought Kevin had farted.
No, it'd be worse than that if I did. Sorry, mate. Go on.
But the feeling that you get from heroin is before you're addicted. You know, I'm talking about first taking the drug. It is a bit like, I don't know, maybe like taking a very, very strong sedative painkiller. It's very similar to that, and basically it relaxes you completely, and that's why you'll often see drug addicts with their jaw dropped, is because you're so relaxed.
You mentioned that in one of the videos you did, didn't you? You were talking about that, yeah.
And that's what it's like. You're still very much awake in the room. Your eyes are closed and your jaw is dropped, and you're slavering from your mouth. You're dribbling down the side of your mouth because everything's just sort of so relaxed. But you're aware of everything that's going on in the room. People talking, but even though I know you can't maybe see me, but.
Do they call that? I heard there was a girl I used to go. I'm still really good friends with her. We used to go at her. She had a close family member that was addicted to heroin. I think she called it. She was from Easterhouse, so she called it. Was it gouching?
That is gouching. We use the same term, mate. Yeah, it's gouching. Yeah,
Right.
That's not just a Glasgow term, right?
That was. I mean, that's what would happen. Would be you would look around at all your friends, and everyone was gouching. You know, 11 years crammed into a little small bedroom somewhere in someone's house, or wherever you are, and you just look round, and everyone's all gouching, and that is the life of heroin. That is your life in heroin. And
so where from that first one you say, like you were saying before you get addicted, how long did it take for that first one to then to the point where it's your whole life, your whole day's feeding your habit? How long did that take?
Well, we often spoke about it and actually joked about it amongst ourselves. Because I was 2 weeks behind everyone else.
So they just started it as well?
They had just
right,
started
sorry,
it.
I wasn't clear, right?
Yeah, so
okay.
Everyone had started taking it at that 2 week point. So folk were joking and saying, you're going to get addicted to heroin. You're addicted now. And then we're like, no. After 2 weeks of smoking it, you've had it every night. No, you all get addicted. And it was this belief that, certainly for me, I was like, I'm not going to get addicted. I can stop it whenever I want. And I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks of smoking it every night, and suddenly someone had got busted in Nidri, and
like a dealer.
The dealer had got busted, and the whole drugs, you know, the supply just dried up, and we were up in the drain. We were driving around maybe 12 houses where we knew we could buy it, and nobody's got it. And then the realisation at that point, when I looked at my friends, was, holy shit, they're all addicted.
We're all hooked.
They were all in pain. They were.
But you're not at this point, though.
Not at that point. I wasn't, because I was 2 weeks.
Right, sorry. So it's 3 or 4 weeks into them first trying it where they're hooked.
When they got hooked.
You're probably 2 weeks into it at this
2 weeks
point then.
behind. So
Right.
I didn't feel as
Makes
bad.
sense.
I wasn't in as much pain as what they were at that time.
And when you saw that, it didn't. There was nothing that made you think, "Oh fuck!" See this. You can see what's down. You know what's coming a mile down the road. Anyway,
It's not a mile, mate. It's 2 weeks away.
I think I could have. At that point, I think I maybe realised that I could have caught myself at that point,
Right.
and gave myself a shake and said, "Wait, if you keep smoking this every night, you are going to become what your friends are right now." But I never. By that point, I'd sort of, I don't know if it's mental health issues,
Right.
or just still wanting to be part of the gang.
Right.
And they were reliant on me because I was driving to get the drugs, so I was always just around it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
When
Codependent, a different kind of codependency. In a
Yeah.
way, like, right.
And just because it was there, I smoked it, and I kept smoking it, and then the drug dried up so many times throughout my 7 years addiction. But certainly earlier on, the first time that I realised must have been maybe a month and a half, 2 months, when it dried up again, and it was my turn to feel that pain.
Aye.
You know, and it was in my stomach, but it wasn't just like, you know, a stomach cramp.
Aye.
It was, my whole body was shivering, and everything was cold. Everything inside was cold.
And how long into was it by the time you started to get those symptoms? So
maybe two or 3 months.
2 or 3 months, right?
Probably into smoking every night, and then having to go without any, was that realisation that it wasn't as severe as it got. It was certainly a telling sign of where it was going.
Aye.
That pain. It did get worse later on as the years went by, being on the drug and then having to go without. That
I've heard
was
some
worse.
horror stories. I like Jason Mewes, no, Jay and Silent
Oh,
Bob.
that's,
He talks about withdrawals like at their worst, and it was how was it described it? He says, you know how you get pins and needles leaning on your arm sleeping on your arm for whatever too long. He says, imagine that times 20 throughout your whole body, non-stop.
Yeah.
And I was like, that sounds absolutely awful.
And it is awful, but then you take heroin, and that's the best feeling.
So that's where the
Yeah,
high
you
comes
love-
from when you're injecting it.
No, so I've never injected.
Alright, okay, sorry.
I've
Sorry, I
only
made an
ever
assumption
chased.
there.
I only ever chased the dragon. I was shit scared of needles.
Sorry, so
And-
what you're saying is when you're clucking or whatever and you've got that pain, and then when you take it, that's the relief, that's a good bit, right? Sorry.
Yeah, and where I think
Sorry,
the
that was-
reference that you made earlier, where you know, when in train spotting, when he refers to it as being better than sex, that's injecting heroin,
Right.
and that's because it's going straight into the vein and it's
Right.
instant.
Okay.
Alright, so obviously, so what we're talking maybe 2-3 months in, first proper withdrawals, and that's probably when you realise that it's got me now.
I knew it had me.
And that went on for quite a few years, didn't it? So
Yeah.
I guess I just wanted to talk about
What year was this? Sorry, wait. This.
So
late
this?
90s?
well, I'm
You were
41 now, and I was 18 when I first tried it.
That'd be in 97? 98, 97, no, late 90s, aye.
Yeah, late
90s.
90s.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So I guess so for that whole period, what about like how did you pay for your habit? So were you working then?
I was working.
Okay.
The job that I was in at the time was in Morrison's, and I hid it because physically the drug hadn't taken me at that point. I still had weight on my face. I could hide it. I could pass it off as hay fever or a cold when people questioned me about why my eyes were red.
I just feel like taking it and no sleeping or aye.
You know, because obviously your sleeping habits are all over the place because you won't sleep.
And even if you are sleeping, you're not really kind of thing that.
You're waking up every 20 minutes, and every time you wake up, you're reaching for heroin. Even though you still have the heroin in your system, it's greed.
Much you reckon you were spending at a peak, like a day or a week for whatever.
A day, to be honest, mate, I would just spend everything that I had.
Right.
So it would
Whatever you could
depend,
get.
whatever money I could get. Because I was working, it sort of helped feed my habit. It means that I didn't have to steal, and I didn't have to.
So you never done any of that? No, that was going to be my next question.
I never stole, and I never robbed for the first, I think, 2 years of my addiction because I had a full-time job. So I would get my drugs and I would take my drugs to my work.
Right.
And I would hide it. I used to put my bag of heroin down my sock with a tin foil and the tutor. I'd put everything in my sock and I would go into the toilets and take what was supposed to be a 5-minute cigarette break. It would turn into a half-hour or an hour break, and I would just say that I wasn't well, sorry. But I actually was in the toilet smoking heroin. And then that went on for, I think I was only in that job for 6 months.
Right.
And then I broke down in front of my boss and his assistant, and I confessed.
Did you?
I confessed to them.
Wow. Okay.
I just said, I'm really, really sorry. And they said, what's wrong? And I said, I'm a heroin addict.
Wow.
And I cried.
And how did they react?
They were brilliant. They were actually brilliant. I've not had any negativity from anyone who I've confessed my heroin addiction to. I please me. I've not had anything negative. People have always been quite sympathetic.
Aye.
You know, and they've been, you need to get help. Have you got someone?
You use that stuff. By the way, just chuck it in that.
Thank you, mate. So then that was it. I went back and I told my mum that I'd been laid off, but obviously I still needed to work. But the realisation was that physically it was starting to take its toll. I wasn't eating at all. I was eating a packet of flaming hot Monster Munch and a heavily buttered roll every day.
Nothing wrong with that, mate.
Can't
I love it.
You can't fucking whack a crisp roll like.
That was my what do you call it?
Staple diet.
That was my diet, and that was when the weight started to shed. So I got just below 8 stone.
Wow.
And I went.
And you're
to
what, like 5'10", 5'11"?
5'8" I was.
5'8".
But when I went to the doctors about my heroin addiction, to speak about my heroin addiction and talk about maybe methadone and all these sorts of things that I tried, the doctor says heroin's not going to kill you, Paul. Your malnutrition will kill you.
Aye.
You need to start eating. And I was like, but I need drugs. So then it was that thing where, right, well, we've got methadone. Right, okay.
Which
Can I get
everyone says
methadone?
is just as bad.
Worse,
Aye.
in my opinion.
Aye.
So I went on to methadone, and I still wasn't ready to stop taking heroin. The way that I always try and explain methadone, and this is obviously only my experience of the drug, was that they say 24 hours.
24 hours, what, did it last?
Yeah, so if you took methadone today
Aye.
at 2 o'clock, that should last you till 2 o'clock the following day without you needing methadone. Now, that if you take heroin now,
Aye.
by midnight tonight, you would need heroin in
Aye,
day.
you want more.
So if you work out like the strength factor of this
Aye.
chemical man-made drug, that's how I explain it, and that's why I always say, in my opinion, that methadone is worse than heroin.
Right, I see what you're saying.
Because it's a chemical that's designed to, to suppress those withdrawals,
Aye.
and it does work. But if you give a heroin addict methadone, it's only 2 things are going to happen if they're not ready to stop taking the drug. They're going to sell the methadone, which is what most folks
Seen it happen, aye.
Right.
Seen it
sell the
happen,
methadone to buy the heroin. Or if you're like me, relatively greedy, you take the methadone, then go and buy heroin.
Don't you have to take it in the doctors though? They don't give you to take away, do they?
At first, you would do it in the chemist, where you go into the
Chemist,
little
right.
room
Aye, okay.
and you take it in a cup. Then once you build the trust with the chemist, they will start distributing,
Okay.
and you'll get your daily dose.
Right.
Some people get 2 days in one go, but if you give an addict 2 days worth of methadone,
We're going to gobble a lot.
they're going to take the whole lot in one go, and then what they're going to do the following day,
Buy more
they're
heroin.
going to need heroin, and to get the heroin, they're going to go and steal, they're going to go and rob.
Is that quite common then, that on methadone you end up still taking heroin anyway?
Yeah.
Is it? Right.
Yeah, it's definitely common. Eventually, it's just that eats away even more. Obviously, heroin's bad enough. Taking methadone is bad enough.
Aye.
But when you take the both of them together, that's something that makes you a zombie.
Aye.
You're
I've
told
seen that.
You're a zombie.
Aye, I've seen that before, aye.
You can't acknowledge anybody. Nobody matters. Your family doesn't matter. Your enemies, if you have them, they don't matter. Anything that's happened to you in your life, you don't feel it. There is nothing there. You are a zombie. You're only self-consumed by not feeling withdrawn.
Right.
That's all you want, just not to feel withdrawn.
So, we'll kind of move on to the kind of second part of the story, if you like. But there was one bit, I think, one of the first videos you did. If you don't want to talk about it, it's fine. But there was something about the concrete dust or whatever. It was one of the very first videos you done.
Yeah.
Go talk about that, mate.
So
Sorry.
when
This is like the height of your addiction, isn't it?
yeah.
Aye.
So we were struggling, and obviously I'd lost my license at that point. So we were walking everywhere on foot, and this one day we had spent hours and hours looking for heroin.
Just
and
walking about.
Yeah, and there'd
Like,
been a
how
bus
far are we walking here?
like miles and miles.
Like to Nidri, Craigton to Nidri.
Craigington to Nidri to Bingham, back to Nidri, back to Bingham, back to Nidri, back to Bingham, back to Nidri. You would never go home.
Nah,
You can't go home.
You can't go home.
No,
It's
I
worse.
suppose no mobile phones or
Nothing like that.
Snapchat or
Yeah, you just
think that.
you have to go and bang on the doors, but you often seen the people in the street because we weren't the only ones.
Aye.
So you speak to guys and
I
say,
remember it back then, mate.
Is
I
there
didn't
anything?
see them walking about.
nothing. So this one day, we went up into this derelict flat in Nidri, and these guys have said, we've got heroin, and I was like, amazing. So I was with my friend, he says, come on, we'll go up. Never met them before. We went into the living room, and the guy come over with a small bag of what looked like heroin, brown. So we took it, we gave him the money for it.
I suppose for some, most, I mean, I imagine a lot of people will know what heroin looks like, but for those who don't like heroin, when you're buying it in those bags, looks like it does actually look like a brown little powdery kind
So
of
the heroin
powder,
itself,
yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong here, the heroin itself isn't brown, it's the stuff that it's mixed with that makes it brown.
Okay, but like but the packet that you would buy normally would look not dissimilar to
No.
what turned out to be.
And what they would use is, you know, like the little bags that you get from the ice cream van with your sweeties in.
Uh-huh.
That's the bags that they would use, the corners of those. They put the heroin in it and they tie a little knot and they would burn it with a lighter to seal it shut.
Aye.
Right.
And on this day, like any other times, it just looked normal. And we were both heavily withdrawn at this time. This was when I was bad on the drug, and we couldn't wait to take it home. So we says to the guys, can we smoke it here? And they said, yeah, you can. But then they ran away. Well, not ran away, they walked out the room and left. So we set up the foil like a military exercise. He was doing the tutor, I was getting the foil ready, getting it all burnt. You burn the back of it to get the chemicals out. And we prepared it all. We got the bag of heroin, we opened the bag of heroin up, we tipped it onto the foil, and we got the lighter ready. And then when I took the lighter, I had to put it in my mouth, and when I lit the lighter underneath the foil, it exploded. This brown powder exploded, and it went black, and it was almost like lava, and it bubbled all over the foil, and we'd never ever seen it, and we just looked at each other, and the realisation was that it's not heroin,
Right.
but because I was so ill, in my mind, I thought they've just mixed it. They've just over-mixed it with something. There's still heroin in it. There's got to be heroin in it. So I proceeded to smoke that brick dust and take it into my lungs. And yeah, and there was no heroin. We found out after when we were leaving, why did you do that? Because you're an absolute idiot. Do you know what that was? And I was like, no, but we don't think it was heroin. But was there any heroin in it? And they're like, of course there wasn't. It's brick dust, you're an idiot.
Did you actually feel anything off that though? What do you call it? Placebo effect type thing?
Did they sell it to you?
Yeah, so
I know that, I've heard stories before that up there that
And they-
that had happened.
And then they
Concrete
had,
dust and that,
but then they had a conversation with you afterwards to say, right, you've paid them money, they've told you it's not heroin, and so what happens then? Because I'd imagine shit would just fucking kick off after that.
the two guys that had sold us it were probably still in the vicinity, but the person whose house we were in,
Alright, so
he was
that
friends
person,
with them.
right?
But we were at that stage where there was a lot of stabbings,
Aye.
and there was a lot of people getting robbed, and there was a lot of people getting held at knife point to get money taken off them. And me and my friend, we had that fear that if we questioned anyone about it being brick dust, we were going to get stabbed. So we just had to, accept it.
So there was no higher that of that, even though like you knew what it was, but so you like I say placebo effect it's called, isn't it?
Placebo, yeah. So there was
nothing like that, no.
There was nothing off that. So we had to we'd spent hours and hours to gather the £20 for that bag of heroin, begging everyone. And then we had to go back down to Craigentiny, go round the same family and friends, begging,
For
£2, can I get £1 then, 50 pence then, and gather another £20. And then we went back up, and thankfully, when we went back up the second time, we actually did get heroin.
Right.
And obviously then we were fixed short term anyway. You know, we smoked the heroin, and then it was like amazing feeling obviously because
Been through all that shit just to
we'd
get
been
it.
through all that.
Was that not the concrete dust thing itself, but the regular occurrence? You just wandering about all the fucking time.
Always,
Aye.
always, and there's a greed factor as well. That obviously the more money that you have, the more heroin you will
So
smoke.
you spend what's in your pocket, regardless of whether you're a drug addict, a fucking alcoholic, or a shopaholic. You know what I mean?
So even
Spend what's in your pocket.
we would often go up and buy in bulk, if you like. So we would go up and say we had £80.
Right.
We'd go up and say we'll get 4 bags of heroin, and that will last us Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Did it? Though?
Happy days, and it would last Monday. You know, it would last Monday. Monday night, you would have the strongest stone ever because you've smoked all that heroin. And then the realization on Tuesday morning when you wake up is that 4 bags of heroin isn't going to last that 4 days.
Right.
So then you have to go back to begging and borrowing more money.
Right.
And that was a story of my life. You know, always just begging for money.
So what was this going on for? What did you say, 6-7 years?
So
Probably what, 5 years or so. You're deep in walking about, trying to get whatever you can, money wise, drug wise.
yeah.
Was there like one? What do they call it? A moment of clarity or whatever, where you just went, I've fucking had enough of this, or did you say it was a gradual thing?
No, so I tried detoxing
Like
myself,
turkey.
cold turkey myself, and I managed
What's that like? Cold turkey.
hell on earth.
Aye, I was talking earlier about the pins and needles thing times 20, your whole body worse than that.
How do you feel when you're going cold turkey? If you talk us through it.
Well, so we cold turkey. I mean, there's 2 instances, and they're slightly different. So you have the instance where you need heroin, but there isn't heroin because it's dried up.
So you just can't get it.
You can't get it. That's worse. Okay, but then, and if you're trying to stop, and you want to stop, mentally it's still difficult, but it's easier.
You're doing it through choice rather than
Exactly.
it just not being available.
Yeah,
Right, so there's a different mindset.
definitely a different
But in
mindset.
terms of the sweats, the shakes, is that the same?
Yeah, so it's exactly the same. You can't sit still.
Aye.
You'll never sit still. You'll toss and turn and toss and turn, and the feeling that you get inside your body, the shivers and the coldness, the not sure what the word is, just restlessness,
Aye.
constant.
Exactly.
You know, you can't sit still. You can't focus your mind on anything other than I need that drug. That drug is going to be the only thing that makes me feel better.
So when you're going like cold turkey through choice, like you say, where you're trying to get off it, how long does that actually last? I've heard up to like 2 weeks where you're in absolute bits.
So the first 3 or 4 days
Right.
is the worst.
Aye.
And if you can manage to clear those first 3 or 4 days, you do definitely stand a better chance.
Right.
But
How many times you reckon you've done that? Made it past the first 3 or 4 days when off fuck this.
other than the time when I actually stopped heroin,
Aye.
I would say I tried detoxing myself maybe
Through choice.
through choice probably about a dozen times
Wow.
over the
Fucking
years.
hell.
And I never passed any longer than 2 days.
Right.
Probably not even that, to be honest. Because I
Just felt like
wasn't ready.
that. It just felt like 2 days.
Yeah, it was just
It was
long.
probably 10 minutes.
Like the first night when I was like, Mum, I promise I'm going to stop. And I said to my mum and dad and
Were
brothers.
you in their house at this time?
Yeah,
Right.
I was in and out all the time because obviously I was like
Couldn't get
Eddie
anywhere
was
else.
saying, I was sofa hopping
Aye.
and spending a week here and a day there.
You couldn't detox anywhere else, like
No.
one of your mate's flat or whatever. Aye.
And it was, and you know, my mum often seen me when I was withdrawn, and I would beg and beg and beg, and she could see the pain that I was going through.
No
and as a
one
mother-
wants us to see their kids feeling that sort of pain. Yeah.
And then eventually I played on that because I knew that eventually my mum would crack and she would just give me the £20 that I needed to make me feel better. And that just continued for that whole period of time. Obviously it wasn't until I got clean, which was very, very strange.
So just go back to the earlier question. Was it like? So obviously you've tried it a dozen times at this point.
Going forward a wee bit more.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to change scene.
I'll just take the mic back with you.
No, I'm alright here. So obviously you've done it about a dozen times. Do you feel any different going into the 13th time, whatever it was, that this is going to be the one? Or
Yeah.
aye, so that's what I was getting at. Was
Yeah.
like, was that a moment of clarity where I've fucking had enough? This is the time to do it. This is the time to stop.
Yeah, definitely.
Talk to me about that.
So every time.
Was there a specific instance is what I'm saying, like something happened or
No, it was
just generally had enough?
It was shame.
Shame, right.
It was always shame with me.
Right.
You know, I never had a bad upbringing, and you know, many heroin addicts, you know, if they've been abused and stuff when they're younger, and that's why they use.
Common thing, isn't it?
That's why they use heroin.
Right.
For me, it was never like that. It was just the shame that I
Just
brought
fell
on my
into
family.
it. And to be honest, mate, that could have happened to me. Let's say I was around a lot of my pals at 15, 16, 17 that were doing that, and it would have been so easy. And like I say, it was just you fucking being in a car with your mates, and it just started from there. And people seem to think that, like it's all really bad people that do it, and they're all fucking junkies, this and that, and it's not. And that happened to you. Like say you had a good childhood. I've known you and your brothers and that a long time, and it was just being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and you fucking fell into it. And that's what a lot of people don't understand.
Just a trap that.
Aye, like it can happen to anybody, really. Just
And
so anyone of a certain mindset or a certain situation, and again, wrong place, wrong time. All it takes is that one. But anyway, mate, sorry, carry on.
And I suppose that's more the reason why, you know, I wrote the book was to make people aware that not every heroin addict is scum of the earth.
Exactly. That's the point I was trying to make, mate.
You know,
sorry.
and they've not all done these bad, horrible things.
Yes.
They've just been trapped. They've just been trapped by the drug, and all they want is to feel normal-ish. And the only way you can do that is by having the drug in your system.
Aye. So obviously you've done the cold turkey for about the 13th, 14th time, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So say what? So how long does it take, right? From that so you've got the first 3 or 4 days where it's mental, physical hell, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then let's say after that you stand a good chance. How long does it take from there to actually being like, right, I actually feel I could do something with my life here? How long does that take?
Well, to be honest,
For you, obviously, everyone's different. But
yeah,
you know what I mean.
for me, I never experienced that because it was instant when
Really?
I stopped. So the story how I stopped heroin was it was on my brother's birthday, and I'd had heroin the night before.
Right.
I went to my bed, and I had a routine that I went through in the mornings, which was to take a load of painkillers, the hydrocodone, Valium, and have a smoke of cannabis, and that was the same
That
every
just to help you
morning.
sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, the mornings you said.
Yeah, in the mornings, but I
Right.
would take them. I would smoke the heroin at night, and I would.
Sorry, right.
I'd
I get what
often
you're saying now.
overindulge, but in the mornings I would take these tablets to give me a kickstart to take away the pain in my stomach.
Right. Now, sorry, that makes sense.
Every morning I would get up and I'd do the same routine. I'd put the kettle on, make a cup of tea, put loads of milk in so that I could drink it straight away with my tablets.
That's too hot.
Yeah, and then this morning I woke up and I remember there was a big mirror above the fireplace, and I put the kettle on, made my cup of tea as usual, and something was different. Never be able to explain. I'll never will be able to explain. Something was different. I went up to. I put my nose on the mirror.
Not like that.
Put my nose in the mirror like that. I looked at myself right in my eyes, and I says, "Don't fucking ask for any more drugs because you're not getting them." Boom.
That was it.
I stopped heroin.
Just that once.
I still had heroin in my system,
Aye.
and I knew I was no longer a heroin addict.
Well, see, like, again, I'm not comparing at all, right? But I was the same with weed, right? Not that it's the same drug at all, addiction-wise, anything like that. But I was like, from 15 to about 22, all day, every day, smoking loads of shit. And I just woke up one day and went, I'm not fucking having one today. And that turned out 6 years before I even, like, see now, if someone's got a joint, I can have a couple of puffs, here you go, take it back.
It's not a problem for
But
you.
that one day I just woke up and went, I'm not having one today.
Yeah.
And I never, 6 years before I touched it again. But obviously completely different, but same kind of mindset. I just went, I'm not having one today.
It is, and that's what it is. I know now that it was my mind. It was something in my mind that had changed it. But I wanted to scream to the high heavens and go and see my mum, see my brothers, and
Tell them.
I've stopped heroin, I promise. But they'd heard it dozens of times.
Aye.
So I had to wait. It was about
Trust you kind of thing.
two and a half or 3 weeks I had to wait. And
Wait for what, sorry?
my appetite.
Right.
So because of my malnutrition.
What do you
and
mean
I wasn't
appetite?
eating-
Oh, so for eating.
For eating.
Sorry, right.
So-
I thought you meant your appetite for drugs again. Right,
My
sorry.
mum would make us a Sunday roast, and every Sunday, and I would never eat it. I would never ever eat any food. It would be left in the bunker, and I started going down and eating all this food, and it was only because I wasn't on the drug. I started eating and eating and eating, and my mum says, "You okay?" And I was like, "I've been off my heroin for 2 weeks."
Perfect.
She must have been so proud when she heard that as well. I think like it must have been like a really the most important thing is like, you know, how you are, but like for a mum to, especially given that she was helping for all the right reasons, like a mother would be helping, like enabling you for a little while because like, you know, you needed it, chemically you needed it, and she didn't want to see her son like that. But for her to hear those words, I'd imagine that must have been quite an emotional. When you told her that, what was her reaction?
I think because she'd heard me, she'd heard me verbally saying it so many times. I think when she could physically see, that was when my mum sort of, I think, realised that.
Corner being turned type thing.
Yeah, exactly. She knew that I'd turned that corner, and then I explained how I'd done it. And they all thought it was amazing. But you still have that shame, and you still have that guilt. Even
How long
though-
does that last? Do you still have it?
Still have it now,
Alright.
and I'll have it for the rest of my life. But what I won't do now is I won't allow it to affect my happiness.
Aye. See, we've all done it. We've all done things we're fucking ashamed of.
Aye.
And I still think about them, but I don't fucking dwell on them. Like,
Yeah, and that's what I am, Kev. I've always been a dweller. I've always, even joining the army.
aye. So let's kind of go to that. So from that kind of episode where you're eating more, blah blah blah. At what point do you think I'm going to join? Okay, so I'll rephrase the question. Sorry. What you thinking? So you're thinking like, I'm going to do something in my life now. How long does it take? I mean, what other options did you think about besides the army? Or was that just the first one? Like,
No.
I've got to do that.
Probably for the first maybe few months anyway, after being clean, my focus was to physically
Get fit.
to get fit.
Like, you talk about that in the book a lot, don't you?
Yeah. So I remember, sitting watching Rocky films, and
What's your favourite Rocky film?
I love them all, but the one with Ivan Drago is probably my
Rocky
favourite.
4,
Rocky
mate.
4.
Fucking abs, 100.
Every
hands down.
every day of the week, Rocky
Every
4.
day of the week, Rocky 4, mate. I must break you.
Yeah, and it's the best.
Best
it's the
soundtrack
best
as well,
one.
mate. Best soundtrack.
Yeah, and I think that's where, for me, music.
Yes.
Music
Right on to that, aye.
Music ties in completely to my addiction, and I didn't realise what damage and what good.
Were you listening to music when you were addicted?
Yeah,
Like, a
very
lot?
very much so.
What's that like? Because I like say I talk about, I'll smoke a wee bit of weed now, but I love listening to music when I've got a wee smoke in me, and it's brilliant.
You don't listen.
You're just hearing it.
You're hearing it. You're hearing the lyrics. But what I realised now, since I've realised about my mind and stuff, was that I was hearing so much in music, and when I heard negative lyrics, I focused on that and took that
Like he
in.
was speaking to you.
Exactly that. It related to me personally. That's
That's what good music does, though.
That artist was telling me.
Regardless of whether you're on drugs or not, that's what music does to you.
Yeah, and what I realised that I was doing was that when I was hearing sad songs or sad lyrics or lyrics telling me that I'm no good and things, I would take it personal.
Aye.
This
is while you're on drugs, aye.
Yeah,
Right.
I would just take it personal, and I suppose that continued through the whole time, even on my initial rehabilitation stage. It was music that affected how happy I was in a day. It was music that was affecting how sad or how guilty I felt about what I'd done.
Aye.
And I took it to my heart, and I felt it. Like the songs, we could play a song now, any song on the radio, any song,
And
if
you've got a relationship with
I've got a relationship to every song that's ever been released. I've got a relationship with it because the lyrics are important. It's not the music, it's the lyrics. If there's an artist, although you have trance music that
Aye.
can make you feel happy, make you want to dance, make you want to do push-ups and stuff. So that still has a positive vibe. But when there's an artist speaking words that you're listening to and you're relating to that artist, that's so powerful, so powerful for where I was at. There was artists telling me to kill myself. There was artists telling me to take drugs. There was artists telling me to stay alive. There was artists telling me to never give up. And I didn't realise at the time when I was listening.
I think you're probably taking it a bit too literally, mate.
Possibly. Yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying about. I think overall, is maybe I'm paraphrasing you here, but when you say there's artists saying such and such, is it more that when you started listening to music, you really started listening, whereas you didn't before? Exactly. It was there, but like then you start taking things very literally from like the lyrics afterwards. It's more, rather than the artist is saying that to you, that actually your brain's just went ping, like you've just started to listen to everything, and maybe you're not taking what you should take from that, but like you're awake, basically. You've started to wake up and listen to what's being said or something.
And you're hearing that, you're hearing an artist, and sort of it makes sense why I maybe felt depressed or sad listening to that song.
So music was like a trigger for that then.
But R.E.M. was always my favourite, and whenever I felt in a reflective mood, I would always listen to R.E.M. And
did you see them at Stirling Castle when they played?
It was Murrayfield.
Sorry,
not tour I seen them at. I think
that's what I seen it. Didn't they play Stirling Castle, or have I just made it up? Someone played Stirling Castle that I went to a gig at. But I seen R.E.M. too, and I think it might have been Murrayfield.
No, it was a Monster tour.
I think that was one I was at.
And I went.
I'm not a big fan, but they were fucking brilliant.
Need I ask what song off Automatic for the People was your favourite?
Oh aye, so you mentioned this, and so you tell your story, and me and Mikey have got one.
We'll make.
I am fucking cagey about telling the story, but I'm going to tell it.
I think what we might do is.
We've not even told you yet. We're going to tell you privately. I'm
going to tell you now.
I was thinking.
So you go first, mate. You tell us about how. So for the record, the song we're talking about is "Everybody Hurts" by R.E.M., right? So obviously, Paul's mentioned previously to me that this was a song that you said it saved your life.
Saved my life.
That's exactly what you said, wasn't it? So talk about that, please.
So I was about to commit suicide.
So you off drugs or on drugs at this point?
On drugs.
You're still on drugs at that point?
On drugs. And I was about to commit suicide, and when I often thought, listening to R.E.M., the sound of the music was...
They've got a really ambient kind of sound, haven't they? It's all kind of minor chords, isn't it?
And it was sad.
It's haunting. It's really haunting, I would say.
No, it was sad, and I believed that that's all I deserved to listen to was sad songs, because I felt shame. So I often listened to R.E.M. thinking it was what I deserved. It was a sad song, and I love that song. And when that time come and I'd had enough of this world and I was ready to leave, and I remember putting that song on my silver hi-fi, put the track on, and it started, and then I was obviously crying and stuff, and I was ready to go, and I listened to that song. You watch it very well up now, because I listened to that song, and I think it's the third verse actually that I listened to Michael Stipe, and he was telling me to hold on, and
don't throw your hat, hold on. Or
don't throw your hand. Don't throw your hand.
I was trying to remember the lyric in my head there.
And I get goosebumps even now when I think back to how I was feeling at that point. I heard that man. I heard him, and when I'm not wanting to hold on. I've had enough of this horrible world, and I'm ready to leave. And he kept saying it
over and over, didn't he?
Hold on, and I did. I did hold on, and the bowl of tablets that I had, that I was going to overdose on, they were still there. Bolo tablets were still there in the morning when I woke up, and that's why I'll always have a place in my heart for that man, for his sing, just for him to sing those words that saved my life, or I would have swallowed them.
Look at it this way though, because previously you said about all the negative stuff in music that you heard,
Mm.
but that one lyric completely flipped it.
Yeah, it's not a sad song.
No.
It's not a sad song.
So
it's not a, you know.
our fucking, oh my god,
I
am a fucking cagey.
I think there is going to be.
There needs to be some context.
There is.
Right?
I think there is going to be a time that we tell this over this podcast. But
I'll tell it, mate. I'll fucking tell it.
I can't fucking say it after that. I think.
No, I will tell it, mate. I don't care.
Okay.
So we mentioned earlier, me and Mikey were at college together, right? Oh my god. No, right, for the record, before I start this, we're not mocking anybody involved in this story. We're not taking
we're mocking a creative decision.
Yes, we're not mocking the person involved in this story.
At all.
The reason...
This person was really brave.
It'll become absolute kudos to the person that was there. That'll become apparent in a minute. But so yeah, me and Mikey went to college together, we did filming, TV and video production, filming stuff and all that. One of our lecturers got, I think he did like part-time work as well as lecturing, didn't he? But it was a road safety video for...
He was a filmmaker as well.
He was a filmmaker as well, sorry, that's what I meant to say. Yeah. But it was a road safety video for Tayside Police. Yeah. So he got the job, or his little company that he does, got the job to film this video working with the police, and it was what do you call it? Not a realisation, a dramatisation of like, it was a car accident and stuff.
Involving teens.
It was supposed to be for a road traffic...
Road safety,
thanks Mike. A road safety video for school kids in Tayside that was organised by Tayside Police. But we all got to be a couple of... I don't think you were in it.
No, I didn't go... All of you were in it, I wasn't in it.
I wasn't in it either, but we were all helping out. He took all the college students along to be part of this video, like filming it and stuff. And like, so one of the road shows was, where were we? Perth? I think we're in Perth, it doesn't matter. We're in
Fife.
We're somewhere in Fife or Perth. Somewhere over the bridge.
Was it Carnegie we were in, actually?
Carnegie Hall, Dundee. Might have been, it doesn't matter.
No, it was
somewhere in Tayside or Perth and Kinross, I forget where.
Right.
It was Perth and Kinross Police, it wasn't Tayside.
Right, okay.
So it was this big thing, like maybe 500 school kids, right? And that video that we'd helped film was part of it, but they had other guests and stuff coming on. So they bring out this one guy who's doing like a voiceover, isn't it? You didn't see him at first.
No.
And he's like, yeah, I ended up paralysed from a car accident, blah, 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 blah. Sorry, I did say blah, 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 like I'm dismissing the guy. But, and then REM, Everybody Hurts comes on, and there's like a big curtain, and he's at the back of it, and there's lights on him, so it's like a silhouette, and the guy's in a wheelchair. And again, I am not fucking mocking the
we're
absolutely not. But as he's coming down, and REM, Everybody's coming down a ramp, but at the bottom of the ramp there must be like a little bit, and he hits it, and he goes forward while this song's playing, and like, it must have been what, 300-400 school kids?
Yeah.
They're all fucking stifling laughter, like probably just nervous laughter, but me and him are in the back. Like,
I think basically, if you imagine like you're watching, I think the best way to compare it, right, is like, first of all, using this now, Everybody Hurts, like you say, is built for people that are going through, was written from the perspective of someone that was going through something similar to you. Michael Stipe had his drug problems in the past as well, problems with depression, and like you said, it's an uplifting song.
Yeah, but this guy's using.
But they're using the physical, because this guy has been physically hurt by a thing. Whatever fuckwit chose like the creative decision to use that song. Like he's like, and everybody, and he's rolling down like
rolling down this little ramp, mate, and he hits the bottom. There must be like a little hole.
You can hear the fucking wheels creaking as it was coming down, like, and then suddenly a brake's being let loose, and he nearly falls flat on his face when it comes down there. Now, like,
and that would hurt.
That would fucking hurt. But we were buckled back because it's that way you watch. Like,
it's like car crash.
It's car crash telly. So it's like watching.
It's not. Don't say. That's a bad turn of phrase.
It's like.
We both say that as well. Fuck
car
you.
crash TV.
Oh my god. You really need to fucking cut that bit out, mate. Oh dear.
But it's because it's like watching like a really painful scene in the office or like,
Yeah.
like in Phoenix Nights or something
Well,
like that.
in the office
like,
where they're doing the fire drill and the woman in the wheelchair gets left at the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
Sitting with her.
Or
It's like say we're not mocking the guy at all, but
It's imagine,
it's
like,
just
but you know that little dude. It's like it was as if like the guy that Peter Kay plays in Phoenix Night, the guy that's in the wheelchair.
Potter.
It's as if he's put on a show at the local miners club.
Yeah.
And he's decided to do something positive, like we're doing now, of like talking about like bad stuff. And then and he decides to make it all like he wants to make it like it's glamorous, and so he decides I'm going to put everybody hurts on. Like, this is going to be through the fucking tinsel curtains or whatever.
I just obviously when you mentioned that song, I was like, we've got a different story about that song. Oh man, it was just the school kids were worse. They're like proper giggling, and that set us off. And we were like.
But which was a shame. I reckon like we're teenagers though. Like I mean, but like at the time
you were. I was about 22. We were still about 19. I'm fucking a fully grown man.
I was like 18 or 19. But there was. Yeah, anyway, it was at the time it was like actually his, and I will say I'm not just saying this as well, like what he had to say was very moving.
Oh, no, absolutely. We're not taking anything away from what he said.
I mean he nearly lost his life to like some idiot like on a road, and the strength of character for him to come out and say that. But it's just like whoever, I wish someone had told him before.
Don't pick that song.
Yeah, I wish someone, because I think anyone in that position, if someone had told me, if I was in the same position and someone said to me that's the song, I'd just look at like, are you fucking serious?
Maybe he picked it himself.
Any other song?
Right.
Maybe
Anyway.
that song related to him, maybe that was
Maybe
his
he
choice.
picked it. But anyway, mate, I just like to say when you mentioned that song, I was like, yeah, we've definitely got
Tell us that story.
We've got a different story about that song.
Yeah.
But, anyway, mate, we'll crack on. What kind of careers did you think of besides the army? So you're concentrating on getting fit, sorry?
Once I got fit, I started training and going around Arthur's Seat and running along the beach. And when I started boxing, I started using, the boxing every day, punching a bag to get
Such
my
a good bucket,
aggression.
I've got one in the back garden, mate. It's
Yeah,
such a good
it's just anger management.
Aye, it's great for that too, aye.
That's what I used it for. So I've done it a lot because I'm an angry man. So I was punching the bag constantly every day, and it was working. And then I found that I had this newfound fitness and stamina. And I thought, I can do something positive and turn my life around. I went to the fire brigade and got the application form for the fire brigade.
Which I've applied to, mate. How fucking thick is it?
Yeah, it was too thick.
200 pages or something?
Yeah, it was
I did
ridiculous.
I did the first written exam, passed it, went to do the second written exam, and it was in St Augustine School, the old school.
Yeah.
And fucking 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning, the hall was freezing, and I just couldn't concentrate and failed the second written exam.
Yeah, and I think everybody, my fire brigade friends that I've spoke to who are in the fire brigade, they know said the same.
Aye.
It's the paperwork that puts a lot of people.
It puts
Puts them off.
I did it like I say, the second written exam messed me.
Yeah, and then I thought drug squad. So I thought, could I go into the police? Would they
You've
accept?
not got a criminal record,
Would
no?
they accept? No,
You've not got anything at all?
no. And I
You're in a
thought,
minority for
yeah,
for
for
years, mate,
being an ex-heroin addict, yeah, definitely. And I thought, well, I could help. I could help the police. And then I thought,
Does the drug squad really help?
yeah, well, exactly.
It's-
And I just thought that I was,
Locking up people for
that's-
fucking drugs, mate.
there has to be something. And then I thought, I was walking along Shadwick Place, West End,
Oh, the 2-9.
in the Army Careers Office, and
Oh, yeah, no, at the West End.
just walking by, minding my own business,
I
and
think it's still there.
it's still
It's still
there.
there.
And the age to join the army used to be 27,
The maximum age.
maximum age, and at this point I was 29. So my time to join the army had been and gone. But little did I know that a few months prior, they upped the age to 32
Is that right?
to join the army. So I went into the pipe major in the Scots Guards, and I sat in the waiting room and waited and stuff.
I've been in there before. I took someone up and I know exactly the room you're talking about.
And I walked into his office and I said,
Got
"Hiya,
the little
sir."
chairs by the door, haven't they?
Mhm.
Aye.
Yeah. And I said, "Hiya, sir." He says, "How old are you?" And I says, "I'm nearly 30, sir." And he says, "Right." He says, "Are you fit?" Cheers, God. He says, "Are you fit?" I says, "I am, sir." He says, "I'll have you Scots Guards." And then that was it. He gave me all the pamphlets and the leaflets. I actually went up, had an appointment with a Sergeant Major, the Regiment of Scotland
So
upstairs.
for those that don't know, what are the Scots Guards? How are they different from any other army regiment?
So the Scots Guards are what I thought at the time was just a toy soldier.
What
You
do
know,
you mean?
growing up, like, so your red tunic, your bear skin. You know, I thought that's all they'd done. But when the pipe major explained to me, I've seen the leaflets and I said, wait a minute, there's some guys that have got a bear skin and a tunic on, and then there's some guys that have got all the army gear on. He says, that's what we do, we're the spear point. So he drew a triangle on a bit of paper, like that, and then his Scots Guards are there, front line.
Okay.
So she said, you go to Afghanistan, you'll be on the front line. And I was like, right, that's what I need. I need to prove to everyone that I've changed. I need to prove to everyone that, you know, I can achieve something in my
Do you
life.
include yourself in that as well? Prove to yourself?
Definitely.
Right.
So, you know, I just had a point to prove, and I thought, right, sir. So I went for my appointment with the other regiment. He says, when you come back down, come in and see me. So I had my pamphlets for the Scots Guards in one hand. Then I've got more for the regiment of Scotland. Then I went back down. He says, what's that in your hand? He took the pamphlet for the regiment of Scotland.
Threw in the bin.
In the bin. He says, I told you earlier, I'll have you Scots Guards. He says, you're going to do like a look at life course with the army. He says, and if you still feel like you want to do it, pal, I'm going to get you in. And I'm going to get you in the next draft, which is January. And this was summertime.
So 6 months away then.
So it was like 6 months. And then I went and done the look at life course for a week. I absolutely loved it. Then I went back. I went to Glencourse in Pennycook.
I know it.
Done that. Then I had my appointment after. He says, the captain or the major that I spoke to, he says, are you sure? Because you're really old. Do you not want to go into logistics or be a cook or a chef?
Because I imagine most of the people you'd been going in with are all 17, 18.
They're all young. They're all young
team.
team. Says, do you not understand what it is that you're joining up here? And I said, aye, sir, front line. And he said, yeah. He says, and it won't be easy, pal. I says, it's sir, if it's okay, please can you put me through for the Scots Guards? And he says, if that's your first choice, then that's what I'm going to do, Paul. Alright, and I wish you all the best. And I done it, and then I got my date through for basic training, which was January.
Right.
And I went down. I never thought I'd get through basic training. And that was in Cataract.
Right.
Where's Cataract, by the way? So I've been on
North Yorkshire.
North Yorkshire.
Yeah.
Right.
So I went down there, and you know, right enough, they were all young laddies, and I overtrained because I was paranoid that these young laddies were going to be able to run round with me, being an older
That
man.
affects you being overtrained? Or were you just really fit?
Just really fit.
Right.
I just got really fit.
What did your training involve?
So the
Prior to your test, like what did
So prior to the test, what I done was I realised that what was going to be required in the army was to carry a lot of weight
Carrying
on my back.
bags, you see them with the big bags, didn't you?
So I got my rucksack and I filled it up with my dumbbells and water and wrapped everything in a towel, 2 towels, and put everything in my rucksack. And then I took to Arthur Seat. I started working my way around Arthur Seat, but instead of staying on the metal road, I started to go on the grass and on the mud. And then I went along, started going along Portobello Beach on the soft sand.
On the hard, soft sand.
On the soft sand.
That's fucking nightmare. I run down on the beach just down the road there. It's a nice beach, but that's the beach runs are hard.
I used to do
hard,
pre-season
like
down there at the dunes, the sand dunes, and
It's brutal.
you literally, it would make you run till you spew basically.
Yeah, and that's what the army do.
Right.
They'll push you until you're sick, and you're not trying your hardest until you're sick.
Aye.
That's what they would say. If you're not being sick, you're not trying hard enough.
Aye.
I fell out with my brother once when he made me do that. He took me to Arthur Seat. My brother's a policeman, so he's fit as a fiddle. He got me up just before he came around today. And he was, I was trying to get fit, like at the time. This was years ago. I'm yo-yo with like my exercise and fitness and stuff. I'll go hard, but I mainly go soft. I remember he made me run across Holyrood once at his pace and stuff like that, and he did the same. He said the same thing. You're not doing it until you're sick. I didn't speak to him for about a month after that.
Yeah.
That film semi-pro, isn't it?
Yeah, and that was a common thing. You know, all these young lads were throwing their guts up all over the place.
I've only done it once. Spewed run.
Don't even think I'd ever done it. Sort of because of my fitness, the fitness tests that we were doing that were causing these young laddies to be sick. I didn't find difficult. What I found difficult was
bathing it up to that point.
what I found difficult was the drill.
What drill?
the marching,
Aye.
Right.
you know, and doing all that sort of stuff. I found that really, really difficult.
What did you find difficult? What was tough about it? Timing and
Timing.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was always out of time, and it took a long,
That's where you're
time.
all kind of marching like this, and you've got to be perfect. Aye.
You've got to be perfect because it's obviously regimented. You know, everybody has to be exactly the same. But Paul Boggie was just always a millisecond out, either behind or in front. And I got nervous in basic training, and you do a test,
Right.
and I failed the test. And I always remember going in to see the sergeant after, and I cried. I didn't mind admitting that I went in, and I tried to explain to him what it meant to me. And before I could get in 2 sentences, I started to well up. And he's went, "What's the matter with you?" I says, "I failed, and I'm not going to be able to join. You know, I'm not going to be able to join the regiment with my
So there's
friends."
a chance you've been like kicked out at this point.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, because it was basic training. There were so many stages throughout basic training where you could
Imagine quite a
fail.
lot of people drop out. Aye.
Yeah,
Aye.
and I had my heart set on it, and luckily because of my fitness, you know,
I got you through it. Like yeah.
I was judged on not just on not being very good.
Just on all of it.
I was judged as a whole, and I was judged. Although people did try to get me back squadded, to call it, and stuff.
Who tried to get you back squadded?
My section commander.
Wasn't he a fan?
No, but there was a lot of people that weren't the fans. I was quite cheeky with a lot of them, having a laugh,
Aye.
and sometimes it didn't go down too well with them,
Aye.
right? And
Aye.
certainly because I was older than everyone.
Aye.
I was older than the officers. I was older than the sergeants, and I was older than every trainee guardsman that was there. I was the oldest man, you know, and I was fitter than most of them as well, and it didn't sit.
Rubbed them the wrong way, kind of.
I think so,
Aye.
and my cheek,
Aye.
my sense of humour
Aye.
and stuff, you know.
Just quite dry.
Yeah, and it was just like this didn't fit with some of them. Thankfully, most of them liked me and got on with me,
Right.
and that they were the ones that made sure that I succeeded. You know, to actually go and join, to be a part of the battalion and go and
So what was obviously you end up getting through all that. The passing out parade you were talking about earlier.
yeah. So done the passing out parade, and I had all my family down to Catterick, and
What's the passing out parade, just for people that like don't?
there's people that have made it.
You finished the training now, so
Right,
your
that's
family
what it's
turns
called,
up, they've got
right.
big grandstands and all that, and you
Right.
march out in your squad and...
Right, so
you
you-
tell your
alright.
story, mate. You
Yeah,
tell
and all
it.
the everybody's family, every trainee guardsman's family is invited to come down into the stand, and they bring you out and you march round and you salute the
Yeah.
crowd, and you go through all the things that you've learnt and stuff. Then you get marched off the drill square, and that's you've passed out. You are now not a trainee guardsman.
All right, so like similar what they do. Like so, my brother went to
Same kind of thing I would have
Tully
chosen.
Allen, like went to they did. Yeah, so he did an equivalent of that as well.
Same
right?
kind of
So,
thing,
yeah.
yeah.
Right, okay, cool.
And then that's you're a guardsman, and then you get sent down to your ceremonial duties in London.
Aye, so you got to guard the Queen.
Yeah, and that's
Was that kind of, you mentioned it before, you mentioned it in a couple of the videos too, that was kind of where you took stock and went, fucking hell,
the realisation.
where you came from. I had the realisation, perfect
Yeah.
word, aye, kind of,
I was like at Buckingham Palace when I got posted onto the post at Buckingham Palace, and the officer and the sergeant marched away, and you have so many paces to the left
Aye.
and so many paces to the right that you can march. And I remember coming to attention, slamming in my boot and coming to
the
attention,
proper big thick boots,
Yeah.
something, aye.
and get my rifle, slap the rifle, and then the iron gates at Buckingham Palace lit up,
Aye.
flashing all over the place.
Well, the cameras.
Boom, 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 everywhere. And I was like, it's
You
just-
by yourself?
Well, there's two guardsmen.
Two yous, right.
Two
I've seen it
on
before,
either
I was about to
side.
say, I'm sure there was more than one.
And, it just lit up, and I was like, this is amazing.
And you were telling me a story earlier on about like the whole. I mean, the Scots. I mean, you literally can't move when you're there. Like, isn't it? Like you have to stay absolutely stationary.
Yeah, statue like.
When's that been difficult for you then?
So,
You need a piss?
well, the very first posting that I ever had in the Scots Guards was on Windsor Castle, four post. And because I was never really good at drill, I was happy to be on four post because there's no public there. And I got posted on, and I got told how many paces to the left and how many paces to the right. also got told that the Queen comes out with a jug of real lemonade and often gives the guardsmen cups of lemonade. And so I got put onto the post. This is different for the story earlier, but this is a true story.
Okay.
That I got posted on. The officer and the sergeant, I heard them marching away, and I was stood to attention, rigid, and I forgot how many paces to the left, and how many paces to the right, and I was scared that if I moved and done anything wrong, the Queen was going to be watching. So
you won't get any lemonade.
I stood for 2 hours and never moved. I was motionless for the whole 2 hours.
Wow.
And when the sergeant and the officer come out to see me, it was summertime. The sun was in my face the whole time. I was drenched, absolutely drenched through. And they came up to me. You're supposed to salute an officer when he approaches. I couldn't move. My whole body had seized up.
Right.
And I was standing there. And then they were saying, Guardsman Boggie. Guardsman Boggie. Aye, Sergeant. He went, who's here? I said, yes, sir. And then I tried to present arms and all my muscles was all seized and that. And he grabbed my bearskin,
Right.
picked it up off my head, shook it. He says, are you okay? He says, you've not got long left to go, like 15, 20 minutes or something. You've not got long left. And when Dave obviously went back in, told the story of what I'd done. So when I went back in, everybody was all there ready laughing. Saying, you stood there for 2 hours and you never done any paces to the left to shake off. Because it's your muscles.
Yeah,
That's why you do it then, to kind of shake off the...
Right,
What do you call it?
Yeah.
Dystrophy, isn't it? Where your muscles just seize up.
Seize up.
Aye.
So
I thought it was like just, but actually when you've said that makes sense, it's to kind of make sure you're still moving.
Yeah, yeah,
I thought it was like some kind of weird tradition
Yeah,
thing.
so I thought it was ceremonial.
Well,
I
it's to
thought it
keep,
was-
make sure you're still active,
Yeah.
aye.
So,
I think it's called dystrophy, aye, muscular dystrophy, where if you've been lying too long, your shit just...
and obviously I never done it. I just stood there, so I couldn't present my arms properly to the officer because my muscles had all seized. But I got on with them and they were fine, and I learned. I learned not to make that mistake again. I practiced, I rehearsed when I went back. I asked the corporal what I needed to know because I was still learning. My very first time I'd ever done it. And then obviously I learned, as time goes by, you get to learn by doing it every day and practicing. And then eventually I did get it. It just took me longer than a lot of the soldiers to get it, but I got there in the end.
Nice.
Do you ever meet the Queen?
Seen her hand.
Her
She
hand?
waved.
Oh, yeah.
She waved coming out and I presented arms to her and I seen the white glove. But I'll take that. I'll take that because it was her.
So did you do that the whole time you were in the army? Or did you go to Afghanistan that as well?
No. So I started my pre-deployment training to go to Afghanistan, and 2 months prior to going was when I had the car
The
accident.
car accident, aye, so we'll talk about that, aye, the car accident, so...
So the car
back to you there.
accident was I was
You could have
trying.
fucking mentioned the other car accident before we told the Everybody Hurts story, mate.
Aye, good point. So maybe we'll put
Yeah,
that
you can maybe edit that bit as well.
maybe we'll take that out, aye. I hadn't joined the dots prior to that, sorry mate. Again, we're not mocking anybody.
No.
So
Sorry mate, go on.
the accident was I was in Edinburgh, travelling back down to Catterick, and my car was in the garage, so I'd accepted the lift from my army friend, and I also had a Fijian friend we were picking up. So we were driving down Otterburn, which is near Newcastle, almost near the post in Newcastle, and we hit black ice. The car started snaking down the road 60-70 miles an hour, and I remember seeing a big boulder at the side of the road as the road turned left. The car was going straight forward. There was no way we could make the turn.
No.
And I'd seen the big boulder and I braced for this boulder. The car hit the boulder and it broke my back, and we were still travelling at 60-70 mile an hour, and when we left the road there was a steep verge
Down the way.
down,
Aye.
straight down into a long grass and a fence, and because my friend behind me didn't have his seatbelt on, he threw into the back of my chair when the car finally stopped.
Right.
He had threw into the back of the chair and crushed my spine.
Wow.
So that's where I'm at now. Is I didn't get surgery. So that's why I'm still in pain every day, because my L1 vertebrae it was 33% compressed. I don't know what it is now, obviously through time.
Aye.
It's going to get
Once you
deteriorate.
get older.
At least you're not taking heroin for the pain. So
No, well that's it. I mean, I suppose if ever I
Did
was
you take
going to...
painkillers though? 'Cause
Yeah,
I think you've talked about it before, haven't you? 'Cause
So-
obviously with your addiction problems, painkillers are a fucking issue.
Wait, I went when I went to the military doctor, and they said, right, we're going to put you on. You're going to be on tramadol, but we understand, Paul, that because of your heroin addiction, we're a little bit apprehensive. And I said, so am I, man. To be honest,
Aye.
I said, but I'm in absolute agony, so
You have to do something now.
So I got tramadol, and I was on tramadol for a few weeks, and I went back to the military doctor and I said, look, ma'am, I says, I'm struggling in my mind being on these opiates again. I says, I'm itching my nose all the time. My eyes are...
I found it when I took them too. Sorry to interrupt.
Sorry.
I could feel... I've only taken tramadol a few that I got really badly hurt my ankle playing football. And Joanne gets them quite a lot for when her back pain and stuff's really bad.
Yeah.
And I felt like my tongue was itchy. Like the whole I was sitting going like that the whole time when I was on them.
It's always
And
my
it
nose.
freaked me out a wee bit, aye.
Was that something that happened when you used to take heroin as well? Then was that where these
I
were
said, all your senses are tingling, aren't they?
Constant. If you ever see anybody like that all the time,
right?
it's opiates.
Right. Okay.
It
Because
causes
it
it.
tingles your senses, doesn't it? Aye. So I found when I did my back, I've got a trapped nerve, and I took Parliament gave me some gabapentin, and I sat for like 3 days like that, and I could feel like my whole body was tingling.
Well, I'm glad
The
you
pain was
mentioned.
gone.
I'm glad you mentioned gabapentin, because when I went back to the military doctor and I said I need to get off the opiates, man. I says this is no good for me. She said there's alternatives. I says right, okay, well, let's do the alternatives. Non-opiate. Yes, a non-opiate, right. It's an early drug, we're not really too sure about the
They use
side
it for
effects.
epilepsy as well, but it's good for nerve pain as well.
For nerve damage.
Epileptics take it. And
So I went on, is it pregabalin, I think it was.
yeah, there's pre and post, I think they're called.
So I went on pregabalin, and I was on them for, I think it was just over a week, and then I was suicidal. I went back.
That's one of the side effects, aye.
I went back and I said, Mum, I don't know what's going on. I says, but I'm crying all the time, and I don't understand why I'm crying. And the only thing that I've changed is my medication from tramadol to pregabalin. Right, we're taking you off them, back onto tramadol. And then since then, I've actually tried gabapentin. I thought that they were I know they're in the same drug family, but
there's pre and post though. There's pre-gabs and post-gabs. I mean, I'm not a physician or anything like that, but there is a big difference.
So when you say right, so you came off the tramadol because you were getting it was almost the same symptoms you get, flashbacks sort of thing. So you went on to gabapentin was the next drug that you went on to.
So I tried gabapentin, yeah.
Went back to tramadol, and then back to gabapentin again as well.
Yeah, so it was pregabalin and then gabapentin.
Oh, gabapentin, sorry. Okay,
no, do you know actually
slightly different, right? Okay.
The drug that I did try actually, the other drug was nortriptyline.
Okay.
Amitriptyline.
That's an
it's an antidepressant used as well. So I was on them, and it was about the same time period had passed, maybe just over a week and a half, and I was back crying again, thinking about suicide, and I couldn't understand where these thoughts had creeped into my mind, and I explained it to the doctor, and she said again, that's no good. We're going to put you back on, and I actually went on cocodamol, the strong cocodamols.
Yeah.
I went on them, still opiate, still had the itchy nose and stuff, but I knew where I was with those drugs.
Yeah.
And I wasn't
They're a bit more
suicidal.
controlled, I think, aren't they?
Yeah, I wasn't suicidal on those drugs
and stuff.
So at that moment in my life, I had to stay on the opiates, but then obviously I got a dependency to those drugs, and I abused those drugs that I was getting prescribed.
So easy done.
I am in pain 24/7 every day anyway. But when I remember times when the pain was less, I was still taking these drugs, and I didn't need them.
Right.
When I hurt my back, I was on 23 tablets a day from the doctor, which is insane amount of tablets.
That's crazy.
And I was a zombie
Aye.
for 2 months. Steph will tell you, I was in the house at the weekend and I couldn't walk. And I was 23 tablets a day. and that was sort of a really, really hard time, because that was when it felt like I was back on heroin. That's how strong these 23 tablets were. It was so strong, and I had to get off them. But the doctors have told me that I will be on my medication for the rest of my life, and there's nothing they can do about it, and I won't have an army career, and I have to start planning ahead for my future and what else could I do. So
you're still getting a wage for the army at this point? You're on sick leave or whatever?
Yeah, I'm still getting a wage. I was in my rehabilitation phase for my back.
Is that through like army physios and all that?
Yeah, all the physios, all the hydrotherapy, acupuncture, all those sorts of things. You know, the army's brilliant for that, for the rehabilitation phase. But still being on copious amounts of drugs every day was bad for my soul.
Right.
Because
you feel
I'd finished heroin and it was gone, and now these doctors and specialists were telling me that I need to take these drugs for my pain, and I accepted it, and that makes me angry.
Did you feel like you'd relapsed then?
I still had this belief that they would send me to Afghanistan.
Right. Did you want to go?
Yeah.
You wanted to action?
Yeah. I wanted to be, in my eyes, I wanted to be a hero, and at this point I'd already started writing the book Heroin to Hero. And that was the end.
Before you're medically discharged then?
Yeah.
So you're still doing rehab, you've started writing that?
I've been writing this for 14 years.
Wow.
And when I joined the army, that was when I came across the title, Heroin to Hero. Go to Afghanistan.
Actually.
And
it's very good, it's a good title.
When I come back from Afghanistan, that will be when you finish the book and publish the book.
That'll be the end.
That was going to be the end. And that's why I said to you in the car
earlier,
that
didn't have an ending.
I didn't have an ending. I didn't feel like a hero, so I didn't want to write the book. I didn't want to finish it because I didn't want to change the name. It was just gone, and I thought, you know what, just burn it. And
I was going to say, talk about that. You nearly burnt it a couple of times.
Yeah, I've nearly burnt it a couple of times, and that was just solely because I just didn't feel like a hero. My perception for me being a hero, growing up a young boy.
Is that going back to that shame thing then?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, and then when 3 months ago,
right.
You know, that is only just over 3 months ago when I realised that I can still be a hero. It doesn't have to revolve around the army.
No.
To be a hero. What I can do is I can save lives by doing charity events, raising money, helping people who really need help. That can make me a hero. So I finished the book that night, three nights. What I realised on finishing the book was that if I donated all the profits from the book, and told my story and sell my soul, which I have done into that book,
poured your soul out. You've not sold your soul.
Yeah, well, poured it out. Yeah, you know, I can get some good money hopefully, and I can go out and actually start to help people on the streets who really need it.
So was homelessness something that was close to you specifically, or I mean, I agree, it's a massive problem.
I was never homeless in the sense that I was on the streets like some of these people that are. I mean, I you know, I've slept in the car. I've slept outside on occasions in stairwells and stuff, but I've never been properly homeless. But what happened? There's so many addicts that are homeless.
Yep.
So I thought I can't just help the addicts side of it. I need to start from the root, and the root is the homelessness. Right. You know, that's something that shouldn't be the case in 2020.
No.
So I thought that's where I'll start, and I thought, do I abolish homelessness in Edinburgh?
What does that look like, abolishing homelessness? Because to me, it's not just about someone not having a place to sleep, someone not being able to sleep indoors or whatever.
No, it's definitely not. I mean, it's the like they've
because you give a drug addict who's homeless a house, and most likely who does will piss it away unless they want that. So I guess it's stuff that I've seen where you kind of have to treat both issues at the same time.
Yeah,
you can't just go, there's a housemate. Oh, sorry, this is just my humble opinion.
No, I think there's a point to that.
You can't just give them a house. There's a housemate on you.
No, it doesn't work.
What does it? So what does it mean to you then? Like,
so that's the main question. What does
sleeping rough, or like or or just everyone having home, or mainly when you think about it, do you think the sleeping rough part of it, or do you? What are your thoughts on that?
So my thoughts about the homelessness is that to combat it, to abolish it, which I know is a bold claim, doesn't make it impossible though.
No.
Now, so my thoughts behind it is you have the homelessness who majority are addicts, they're alcohol or drugs. Now, there's so many people who don't want help, and there's so many people who are not ready to come off heroin or drink. But that to me personally, that doesn't mean that I should forget about the people who do want help and do want off the streets. So what I'm wanting to do, short term, is supply the sleeping bags, the food, and help with that. But that doesn't fix the problem. What needs to happen to fix the problem is to build the foundations of places that these people can go as groups, as families, and I'm going to put containers all over Scotland. So you know the big container ships.
Alright, sorry, the big.
So I've been in touch with a few companies who are happy to help. They're going to get on board to help me. I'm going to put these container ships all over, and the trades like the welders, the joiners, the electricians, who are also willing to help because I've asked already. Once I get rolling and generate enough money, it's fine taking these people off the streets, but then what do? You can't just leave them
there. That's the point
there.
I was trying to make.
You know, they can't get a job because they've no fixed abode. I can give them a fixed abode, hopefully, but
it's a care package, isn't it? Like it's everything. You need to treat the disease, and it's not saying that homelessness is exclusively linked, obviously, to drugs.
No,
and drug. Okay, but
I'd
say like a huge proportion of it is like massive, like this.
And to help these people as well, like obviously, what I'm wanting to do is use my experience to help these addicts who need help. If they don't need help and they just need a roof over their head, I want to be able to supply that so that them and their kids or their families can have somewhere safe. But they're not going to be able to afford gas and electricity.
Right.
So we put solar panels up.
Right.
Over all of them. I'll pay for them hopefully through the money that I'm going to generate through the book. I'll put these solar panels up so that every winter these guys are guaranteed to be in warmth. Then there's allotments. You can put allotments in and teach them how to grow their own food. It's like you give a man a fish, you'll feed him and his family for a day.
Give him a net.
Give him a rod and teach him how to fish.
Right.
And it's the same thing here. You know, even fishing. You know, these homeless people, they still have something to offer to society once you fix.
Definitely.
The,
You're a prime example.
Absolutely, I was about to say,
you're a prime example.
literally walking proof, and that's why, like, when you said that you didn't feel like a hero, like afterwards, I was like, it's interesting you said that because like you defined hero as certain parameters. You wanted, in the classic sense of being a hero fighting for your country abroad and stuff like that, but like you're so much more than that. And actually, I'd say what you're doing now is actually offering, in my opinion, more than like what you would have if you'd offered your services in Afghanistan. Because
certainly, chance you might have died over there. You know?
No, definitely. You know, like a pretty good, a good, you know, a good chunky chance that you could have, you know, you could be caught. And then what would you be doing now? That's on the basis that you did come home. Like how many thousands of soldiers don't come home every year? And so it's just another way to look at it. Like I mean, I suppose you've got to count your blessings where they can be counted. And like I mean, I think you're an inspiration, mate. Honestly, I think like
that's good.
Like I don't know, you know, I'm really glad that you've like come along to, you know, speak openly about it and that. Like, and so you've been speaking at like events. How many events have you done? Did I miss that? I think I asked that.
No, we haven't got to. So I was just going to wrap up there. I'll kind of build towards wrapping up this book. Obviously, the events you've done. Obviously, the book being one.
The book being
talk about the other events you've done and or planning to do.
So the first one was the Pro Boxers charity event, 100 miles to hell and back, and I'm just back from that a few days ago. And what that was getting, I think it was actually 7 professional boxers, 1 professional golfer, and an Olympic runner. And I took these guys.
Somebody's not your mates from the army as well?
One of them who took the guys on the 100 miles because of my back. I was unable to do it.
Right, okay.
I've never met the guy.
Oh, okay, right.
I'd never met him.
Sorry, I assumed it was your mates.
No, I never met him.
Okay.
It was just because he was in the same regiment as me.
I see, right. Sorry.
That's where the connection. He offered to help do he was going to donate the prize fund from a charity boxing fight, but because of this pandemic, we were unable to do that. So we went down to Malham Tarn in the Yorkshire Dales, and basically we've put these sports people. Obviously, the ex-world champion Ben Jones was the biggest name. You know, he came in number 4 in the world. He came down and got stuck in, and we put them all through their paces, army style, and we done that to try and raise.
You put him through his pace as well. Did you not have like a little sparring session with him as well?
Yes, I did. Yes, I won. Yes, I did one. And Ben, you're listening. You know that's right. I did one. So
There's a camera, mate.
yeah. Well, Ben, you know I beat you, don't you? You know I beat you. So I've done that to try and raise money for UK homelessness and the NHS. That was the 2 things for that. And
What's your raise for that? Do you know yet? You've not released all the footage and stuff yet, have you?
No, and what I'm going to do now is, hopefully speaking to that man over there, Mikey, I'm going to see, I've got a ton of footage from that event that I've not released on social media. I believe that the money will come in, you know, and I believe that people will eventually know Paul Boggie's name for me trying to help.
Well, you're getting a decent following already, mate.
It's every
It's
night.
going, mate. I mean,
It's
it's,
picking
like
up.
you say, it's been what, 3 months?
Is it your own? So is when you're saying it's a following? Is this your own page rather than your personal profile? Is it
Facebook,
like
Twitter, it's all there, right?
how many followers you got on Facebook at the moment?
Nearly 3,000.
And it's just Paul Boggie, the way it's spelled as
Paul
well.
Boggie, yeah.
You're on
We'll put a link up and stuff.
but we'll say it as well. Instagram and Twitter and that.
Instagram, I've only just started Instagram. It's all new to me, but I've got I think it's 550, and on Twitter, funnily enough, because of the book,
Mate, I see your tweets, mate. It's blowing up. Like.
the people that are following me on Twitter have like
Tom Walker,
200.
He's one of them.
Really?
Nice.
Tom Walker as well.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
200,000 followers they have, and they've chose to follow Paul Boggie, and you know that's special to me. And there's a few of them. There's not just one. There's a few, and I think these people might know who Paul Boggie is. You know, they're following me. So when I put tweets up, the charity event or anything to do with the book, I'm a massive Tom Walker fan, and I've been chasing the man for 3 months. And I've had a message from him. It's a blue tick, by the way.
The real guy.
It was a real one. I've asked him if he reads books, and he says sometimes he does. Then I've messaged him to say that my book is now out.
But we're going to try and help you out with it as well. I mean, hopefully by the time we've figured this set up a bit more, I think you've not done an audio book of that yet, have you?
I've not done an audio book.
Well, guess what we're going to be doing then?
Like, I saw that.
We can do that for
We've got all
free.
the stuff here,
We've
mate.
got all the stuff here, mate. It's done, and it'll be you and a mic and just a few hours of like drinking tea and reading your book out and stuff.
I love that.
We're going to get
That's
your audio
what I
book out.
Drinking this kind of tea.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
kind of tea,
that
mate.
tea, yeah.
The best kind of tea, like that.
Oh, this tea.
I will note, I've given Paul like bottles of Moretti and that to use as an ashtray. He's not been drinking from it, just so you know. Like,
Yeah, it's just for an ashtray. Yeah. We've done it already.
but you can drink from it if you want. It's just dirty fire water. How's the book selling so far?
So the book was slow because when I initially released it, it was only on Kindle.
Yeah.
And what I was finding on Amazon, and a lot of people were waiting on the paperback.
It's expensive to print as well, isn't it? I'd imagine.
So the Kindle is in $9.99 and the paperback is $12.99.
and
Obviously,
that's Amazon, Audible, things like that. Is Audible only audiobooks actually? Of course it is.
Audible's audio books.
so it's on Amazon. It's on Amazon at the
It's not
moment.
called Readable.
But the paperbacks, since the paperback's been released for just over a week, a lot of people are buying it. I don't know the exact figures, but I know I'm getting a lot of messages every day from strangers saying, "I've just bought your book, I've read your book, and you're an inspiration." It's the sort of messages that I'm getting. And when I read messages like that from strangers, it's special. to me. You know, when I read that and I think, you know, if I just help one person,
It's enough.
you know, I'll die a happy man.
But we're
Just
not.
one.
We're not, Paul. We're going to tackle fucking homelessness. One
Yes.
person's not enough.
Yes, yes, exactly. Let's go big or go home.
That's it.
You know, and we have to. And I know that abolishing homelessness in Scotland is a bold claim, but if I can get enough people to buy this book, and all that money for the sales goes to helping me start building, then the world could be my oyster. I can do it.
You got to start. You got to start somewhere, and Rome wasn't built.
Exactly, mate.
Rome wasn't built in a day. So
Yeah.
that's it.
Quality.
Brilliant.
Wrap it up
I think
there.
we should wrap it up.
Aye,
there.
that's a good place to
Thanks
end,
so
mate.
much, mate.
Final plug, mate, for the skincare. I know we mentioned it briefly earlier, but
Yeah. So
finish on that. Mate.
I have got my new business, Blank Canvas Organic Skincare, which is now available to buy. It's only on Facebook at the moment, but
We'll post a link to that as well.
we've got a website that's going to be going live over the next couple of weeks also. So yeah.
So what's the product, mate?
So it's coconut. It's just basically just coconut oil with different essential oils. So if you suffer from psoriasis, acne, eczema, all different
Skin
ailments,
conditions, aye.
skin conditions, then
Does it help anything besides skin as well?
Can you use it as lube, basically?
yeah, you can use it as lube. You can use it in your hair. You can use it on your nails, on your lips. Basically, it's edible, so it is totally organic. I've ate some. Funnily enough, I ate some to prove a point that it is edible. And you know, you can use it on your kids as well because it's organic. You know, you get baby rashes and stuff where you would normally use a chemical
Really sensitive
like
skin, aye.
Sudocrem or you know, chemicals like that. Where there may be, I'm not saying that it is going to, but it's worth trying something organic on your baby first before you go to stronger chemicals, in my opinion. So it's there. So hopefully you try it. I've had nothing but nice feedback about the products. So hopefully you buy it. You know, and yeah.
Good stuff, mate. So we're going to finish on his main vocation, if you like, is as a musician. So Mickey's got a song out under his alias, Tomorrow's Ghost, song by the same name. So we're going to finish on that. Boggie, superb, mate.
Thank you very much, mate.
Cheers,
Cheers,
mate.
guys.
Come in for a fist bump.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
I really appreciate it.